Hello and welcome back to another Jumpstart video. Today is going to be my mock draft 2.0 right before March Madness is set to begin. This is just going to be a small mock before March Madness, but I'm going to be releasing a massive big board or mock after March Madness, which is going to be your ultimate guide to the draft. So if you guys want to see that later on, make sure you hit the subscribe button. But for this mock, I'm going to be doing a tankathon simulation, so the draft order will look a bit crazy. And wow, this one did end out wacky, as the Rockets, Pistons, and Trailblazers front offices are having parties while most of the others will be very disappointed. So, without further ado, let's get into it. With the first pick in this draft, the Houston Rockets select Jabari Smith Jr. from the Auburn Tigers. Jabari Smith Jr. is the best player available here, I believe, and his shooting and spacing is just absolutely perfect for the modern day NBA. Pretty much, he's a big man who can shoot really well. He needs to work on his handle a bit more, but he has the sort of Kevin Durant upside of the big man who can shoot the lights out from mid-range and three if he manages to develop well. So I think he definitely has the highest ceiling out of this heralded top four, and also top four, and also he has the lowest floor out of these top four drafts picks. And with the second pick, the Detroit Pistons now are going to select Jaden Ivy. This might be surprising, but I honestly don't like the pick for Chet Holmgren for the Pistons. I think Ivy works perfect though, and the Pistons now have a brilliant frontcourt partner with Cade. This backcourt is honestly really going to have unlimited potential with Cade and Jaden Ivy. Ivy has incredible speed and amazing quickness. I think a big reason why he's risen on draft boards is because of the success of Ja Morant this year. That's a big comp that he's getting. He plays a lot like Ja Morant. He's good at finishing in the paint. He's good at scoring in the paint. And he also has that crazy speed and athleticism. Number 3, the Portland Trailblazers are going to take advantage of the situation and take Chet Holmgren here. Chet is a special type of prospect and the type of player that the Trailblazers need at this moment. He can play power forward or center based on their needs that they want, and he has a crazy defensive upside. He might not necessarily be like Dame's partner, running man, but he can definitely fit with them and help complement each other's flaws. And once he adds some muscles, I think he'll be crazy good on the offensive end as well and complete this Portland team for a few years of more deep playoff runs. With the 4th pick in the NBA draft, the Houston Rockets are going to select Paolo Banchero. I think this one is an easy pick here, as Houston Rockets round out the big four with their second pick. I think this would give them a young starting five of Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green, Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith, and Alperen Sengun, which is a really nice young core. And I think that Paolo Banchero gives them like a crazy mid-range game, and he's a really physical player. I think his three-point shot is also a bit underrated. He's a decent three-point scorer, and I think he can really score on all three levels, definitely, at the moment as well as in the future. And just imagine the scoring potential of the Rockets with Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., and Paolo Banchero. That is an amazing scoring partnership, and I think that they're going to have a bright future if they pick these three players. With the 5th pick, the Orlando Magic select AJ Griffin. In my opinion, Griffin is the clear number 5 prospect behind the big four. He has a high upside, and once again, just like Jabari, he's a sniper from distance and he's a big man. AJ has an NBA-ready body and can be really physical inside when needed, and I know Magic fans are wishing for a top 4 pick here, but it is important to cover all scenarios and to understand that Griffin is still a great pick if the lottery doesn't like them. Number 6, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Jalen Duren. If I'm the Thunder, I'm definitely using some of my draft pick stash to move up and get a better prospect. But if they don't do this, Duren is the right move. He is an athletic, rim protecting and rim running traditional center that can fit well with the Thunder. He doesn't have a great upside, but will probably be a starter or high level role player in his career. And I think that he will help the Thunder's future whilst not also improving them too much to miss out on a good pick next year. Number 7, the Indiana Pacers select Johnny Davis. Davis can be a good guard for the Pacers, and him and Halliburton could potentially share the point guard roles, or one could become the true point guard whilst the other is still a combo guard. I think Davis is a really good all-round player who can shoot, create, and he has defensive potential. Number 8, the Sacramento Kings select Keegan Murray. I think the Sacramento Kings are a team looking for an NBA-ready player more than a high-upside player, and Keegan Murray fits really well with the Kings. Murray is a great finisher and off-ball player who can go alongside with Fox and Sabonis. He's also a great offensive threat inside the arc, averaging more than 23 points per game. Number 9, the San Antonio Spurs select Benedict Mathurin. Mathurin is a 3-and-D wing, and I expect him to be one of the few players from this draft that comes out and starts making an impact straight away. I also think that Mathurin is probably the most versatile player. You can plug and play him in any position, and I think he'll be a really good player. At number 10, the New York Knicks select Shaedon Sharpe. There's a bit of mystery surrounding Sharpe, who hasn't officially cleared for the draft yet, but I think that the Knicks definitely take a much-needed guard here at number 10. As well as youth, Sharpe is a 6'6" wing who has had a great first step and can find his way to the basket with ease. So pretty much Sharpe is a great slasher and has shown improvements in other areas of his game as well. I think that Sharp is going to be a big riser when it comes towards the draft if he officially declares, and he's a really good, really young player. Number 11, the Portland Trailblazers select Kendall Brown. With Dame, Anthony, and Chet already on this team, it's time for this team to start looking for a forward, and Kendall is the best at this position. Brown is a well-rounded player with strength and athleticism that has an easy ability to just make an offense click. Number 12, the Memphis Grizzlies select Jaden Ivy. The Grizzlies here are going to look for a guard without going for a true point guard, because that is what Ja Morant is doing for them at the moment. I think Ivy was considered by some to be a number 1 pick, or at least by most to be a top 10 pick before the season started, and whilst he still has great upside, he did slide a lot, but I think that upside is really what the Memphis Grizzlies are looking for here, and if they get a hit with Hardy, and they still have Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bane, they can really be a contender in the next few years, or maybe even next year. With the 13th pick, the Washington Wizards select Ty Washington. Haha, yes, I know, very funny. Washington Wizards, Ty Washington. Well, I think that the Wizards should just take the best player available here, and as Ty has had an unprecedented drop in this mock, he is quickly taken here. Number 14, the Atlanta Hawks select Tari Eason. I'm a big fan of Tari Eason with his size, agility, length, and he's definitely the right positional fit for the Hawks here at 14, the end of the lottery. Number 15, the Charlotte Hornets need a rim-protecting center, and I've got just the perfect one for them. The Charlotte Hornets are going to select Kessler Edwards, who is the best one available, and he's averaging an amazing 4.5 blocks per game. I think Kessler Edwards is definitely one of the most underrated players in this draft class. He's an amazing rim protector, and I put him as maybe the second or third best defender in this class. With the 16th pick, the Oklahoma City Thunder go high upside hunting with Nikola Jovic. I think Nikola Jovic is another forward or center that would be nice for the Thunder. And I think that Jovic has a really good scoring upside. If you look at his stats, then you just see that he's not, you might say, oh, he's not averaging good points or good efficiency. I don't understand why people have him this high on this mock draft. But I think you should just watch a couple of games. You can just see the flashes there, the clicks, and he just really understands the game, and you can tell that if he just works on his game, he's definitely going to become a really good player in the future. With the 17th pick, the San Antonio Spurs select Ochai Agbaji. After selecting Mathurin, the Spurs now take Agbaji, a great on-ball defender with crazy athletic ability, which he uses most notably on defense, but also has crazy offensive upside. At number 18, the Minnesota Timberwolves now take Dyson Daniels. I've said this before and I will say it again, Daniels is the perfect pick for the Wolves. He can come in and make a playmaking finisher on a team full of scorers, and I think this Australian will really be able to unlock another gear in their offense. Number 19, the Indiana Pacers are going to take MarJon Beauchamp. Beauchamp is a forward with great athleticism and size, who also has a good upside and fit for the Pacers. I think these 3 players from the G League Ignite with Hardy, Daniels, and Beauchamp are really interesting. I think all 3 of them will go around maybe just outside the lottery up until 20. I think it's going to be really interesting to see which of them falls first, second, and third. But I have MarJon Beauchamp being the third and final selected in this mock draft. At 20 here, the San Antonio Spurs are going to select Jeremy Sohan. Sohan has an amazing wingspan and physical tools, and you can just tell that Sohan is going to be a great defender and finisher at the NBA level. With the 21st pick in the NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Patrick Baldwin Jr. Baldwin has great size, mobility, and an excellent and clean jumper, and I think that he would be a really good fit with the Nuggets, a team where he doesn't have to run the offense like he currently is in Milwaukee, but instead would be an off-ball threat, which is what I see him as more in his best possible scenario. With the 22nd pick, the Chicago Bulls select E.J. Liddell. The Bulls need a power forward, and E.J. Liddell is climbing up mock drafts fast. Liddell is a 3-level scorer, which is rare for a big prospect, who is also good at rebounding and shot blocking. However, his main downside is that he's very slow and unathletic. With the 23rd pick, the Dallas Mavericks select Mark Williams. The Mavericks need a center, and Mark Williams is here to provide good length, and he has a nice vertical, and he's also a really good rim finisher. So this all good typical center that I think would be a good addition to the Dallas Mavericks. With the 24th pick, the Milwaukee Bucks select one of my favorite prospects, Kennedy Chandler. Chandler is a small guard who makes up for this smallness, being really quick and really athletic. Now, as a small guard needs to be in the NBA, Kennedy Chandler is a really good shooter, but he also has a good understanding of pace and getting steals, and I think that Kennedy Chandler is one of the best point guards in this draft, and I think that the Bucks really need a point guard, so it's a really good choice here. At the 25th pick, the Brooklyn Nets select Ismail Kamagate. I put him in the first round pick of my mock draft last time, and I'm going to put him in once again this time. Ismail Kamagate, I'm a very big fan of his. The Nets need a center, and Kamagate is the best one available. Kamagate provides great defense and finishing, and also has great size length. With the 26th pick in this draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Jan Monteiro. Monteiro is a really shifty little guard prospect who's a great scorer, and he has a good upside as a pick and roll playmaker. Monteiro is also a great ball handler and has amazing court vision. With the 26th pick, the Miami Heat select Trevor Keels. Keels has a good pace and patience to work with the Heat, and because the Heat is coming, I think 29th in pace this season, and I think that Trevor Keels has good patience, but can also speed up the pace when needed. He's also a good shooter and can play multiple positions, so from like the 1 to the 3, I guess Trevor Keels could play. With the 28th pick, it's the Memphis Grizzlies once again, and they select Wendell Moore here. Wendell is a good slasher, a very good slasher. I think he might be the best slasher in this class. Actually, I think he's probably like number 2 or 3 as good slashers in this class, who can finish at the rim extremely well, and he can definitely beat defenders off the dribble at the top of the key or the 3-point line. At number 29, the Golden State Warriors select Bryce McGowan. Don't know how I almost forgot the Warriors name there. But McGowan is a very long and athletic wing, who I think is an athletic and aggressive slasher, who has a really strong floater game. I think his floater game is probably one of the best things about him. So he can slash, either finish, or just put up that floater. And with the final pick in the first round, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Ousmane Dieng. Now, I think Dieng has played really well his last couple games. He originally slid off my mock draft, and I had Hugo Basson, his teammate, above him. But I believe that he's been playing really well his past few games. You know, he has great offensive creativity. I've loved seeing that from him. And I really believe that Ousmane Dieng honestly has the upside of a player such as Paul George. That's where the upside is. So, thanks for watching that, guys. This video probably wasn't as polished as most of my recent mock drafts are, but this was just like a little video to put out before March Madness to just show you where all my players were. As I said at the start, I'm going to be doing lots of draft content after the March Madness, so I really hope you check that out, and thanks. See you guys next time.